Hi, and welcome to another Type with Me. This week I want to talk about Fastify, a node.js framework that I hear a lot about, and I just want to dive into it, just see what you can do with it, build a small API with it, and show you what the capabilities are of Fastify. So Fastify, fast and low overhead web framework for node.js. So they have a website, fastify.io. Check it out and see if it's something for you. But alright, let's keep moving and using it in a demo application. So we have here an empty node.js application, and now we can very easily do yarn add Fastify. And of course, you will grab it from npm and you will install it within your application, right? We have our index.js, right? And there we will put some Fastify code. So first of all, like everything within Node, we need to require Fastify, and we can say that we need to have logger, right? So we add a logger there. Then we're going to create a method const start, I think, which will be an arrow function. And in this arrow function we can say fastify.listen port number, which will be 3000. Of course we want to wait for that, and I also want to put it within try catch. And then here we can very easily put it right here. And then we put some logging in it, right? So when we have started our server, we can say that server listening on fastify.server.address.port, right? And of course, when we have an error, we also need to have some logging, and we need to handle our node.js application properly. So that's it. We say that we log our error, and that we then do process.exit one, right? And then of course we need to start our server, and then fastify.get, something that you will have there. So we will do something like this, right? Fastify.get, and then our route, and then we say just hello world. So that's basically it. It's a very easy and simple application. One of the things that I'm gonna do here, just nice to do, right? So const counter equals 0, right? Then I'm gonna put counter, right? Or just counter. This is also good to do. And then here we're gonna do something like fastify.get add, and then we're gonna do something like this. And we are going to do counter I'm just going to return nothing here, but we're just going to add something, right? So just to test a little bit, of course we now need to do node dot, right? So now you'll start our server, you will see that we get some logging there directly, right? And so when we go to the browser, you will see that we have hello world and our counter is 0. When we go to /add we get an error. Assigning to constant variable is not possible. Of course, right here you get also very easily and very nice errors, right? So we just need to make here a let, of course, and then we are ready to go. You will see that I need to restart my server, so we will do so. So here we go. It's always nice to see how something is getting put to you as an end user, right, when you make an error. So in this case we have status code 500, which is correct, right? We have an error, internal server error, and we have a clear message that our assignment to constant variable is the problem, right? So we solved that, and now we can just refresh and you will see that we get no error anymore. But when we do some more refreshes, to 3, 4, for example, you will see that our counter will be that. It's 4, right? Which is awesome. It's working right now. It's a very easy, simple example, right? You can do much more with Fastify. One of the things that you can do more is, of course, also the request response validation and hooks. So here, for example, we have another way to perform a get, right? And there we say that our method is get, our URL is / and our schema is with a query string name of type string, right? And then of course we can do something with that name, all right? So maybe we need to test it out. So I'm gonna copy and paste it. One of the things that I still wanna just change here is how we can apply this request or this query string parameter, right, and do it correctly in our response. Right, so let's copy and paste it out here, right? So here we go. Then of course we need to have something like a counter, and we also need to have something like query, because on our request we can do something like this, query, right? Then you will see what we will get back when we ask request.query. We also need to restart our server, right? And now when I refresh, you will see that I get hello world, but that's not. And it's normal, we have just hello world. The rest will not be used there because we said here the response needs to be an object with an hello property of type string, right? So here we need to add things like counter, which will be of type number. And then of course we need to have something like query, which needs to be of type and then in our case an object, right? So we save that, we refresh our server, then you will see that we get more than just hello world, right? But that's very important to know. Even though you had here hello world, counter and query, it just provided us hello world, right? So there you can really define what need to be sent back to the server. And then of course here request needs to have a query string with a name parameter, but that's strange that he didn't made an error there, so I don't know what went wrong there, but okay. So when I refresh now, you will see here that we have counter 0 and query, which is an empty object, right? And when I do now this name equals blah blah, our query is still an empty object. I don't know why. Probably it's because I need to define it more properly. So another thing that I'm going to try out right now is going back towards what we had before. So we had this before, right? And then here I need to do something like request.query, right? And if I do here query, then you will see what will come out of that, right? So when we go to our name equals blah blah, you'll see that we have now query name blah blah, right? So now I just want to adapt our previous example a little bit so that he will have the name in it as well. Well, let's go back, right? And then of course here we still need to define counter which was of type number. And then we have query, which is of type object. It has properties. Name, which will be of type string, right? So I think that's it. So when we now do here counter, and we then now here query request query, right? Then you will see that it will work. So I hope you understand what's going on and what for a powerful thing it is to just predefine what will be the outcome of your request, right? So validation is a very powerful thing within Fastify. Also here we have a pre-handler and you can do a lot of things in that right there. So when we refresh, you will see now that we have query name blah blah. So that's really, really cool. Something that I'm going to see is, yeah, so also there, when you don't have anything in your query, yeah, you will not do anything for that, right? But for example, if you have a big object and you only want to send out certain properties of that, you can also within the schema define what you want to send out to the end user and whatnot. And that's very easy. You can just pull that off and on again very, very fast without modifying the underlying code there. All right. So one of the other things that's also nice to know is that there is TypeScript support. So you can very easily use TypeScript support. Of course, you need to have types/node there, and then you will see that you can just import Fastify, and that you can use server income messages and server response for that, right? So that's also a very powerful thing to do and to look at. But for now, yeah, we already touched the basics of Fastify. Fastify has also a very big ecosystem. It has core plugins that you can install and can work with for authentication, for assets, for tons of other nice, cool things, right? So check that out if you want to know more. Here, for example, it has a Fastify circuit breaker, a low overhead circuit breaker for your routes. So in my opinion, when you want to have something within node.js, you want to have a solid, very powerful thing, very easy to manage and to use within your organization, just check out Fastify. It's a very good alternative towards express.js. It has a very big ecosystem to work with, and my first opinion is that I liked it. Right. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye.